Good morning, traders. So how do we trade the DAX today? Now, a couple of things. Yesterday I pointed out that we did have this inside bar, and then we kind of had this hanging man, pin bar, whatever you want to call it, but it pretty much negated a lot of what I saw in this pattern. Okay, we then gapped up, tried to rally down, just closed the gap, and then closed up. So now we have a positive pin bar. So there is still, to me, a lot of indecision happening in this area. Now, if we just drill down to 4 hour, you'll see a head and shoulders. So we have shoulder, double head or double bottom, and another shoulder here, which is also a double shoulder. Okay, so shoulder, head, shoulder. So our neckline is pretty much 10-4-3-7. Break above that, we have confirmation to the upside. Now, the important thing to understand is that we have had a crossover of the moving averages and they are still holding and pointing up. And this is on the 4 hour. The only thing that is concerning me again is oscillators starting to group. And we haven't really played out this warning here on the momentum index that stepped out of the Bollinger Band. So we did fall down, but we've stayed above the 20 moving average on the momentum index. Okay, so many ways to read that. It could mean that we do have a trend that's changed and we're going to rally, or alternatively that we are forming another top and we may be bouncing to the downside. Okay, so the things that you need to watch out for today are pretty much this trend line. So if this trend line holds, you're safe with a long. If it breaks the downside, then you'll be looking for long entries at the bottom of the range here at 10.050. If this 10.050 breaks, then you can expect more downside. But as it stands now, it is looking like we have a potential consolidation pattern for a break to the upside. Okay, so the level that we need to watch is 11,440. Actually, I can bring it down. It's basically the high of yesterday, 11,434. Okay, stops will need to be below the low of yesterday, which is pretty much there, 11,200. So that's the only challenge that we have here, because you're looking at a 250 point stop loss. So yeah, I think what you want to do is just get down to a lower time frame, and we're going to have a look at the ichimoku, because the ichimoku is going to give us a better idea of what's going on. So on the 30-minute, you can see we are above the 200. So if I just basically come down to the 12 minutes, if you use the 12 or the 15 minutes, you can basically look at 11,242 as your stop loss area. But this was a solid move going into the close. But look at the grouping of the oscillators here. So I would expect us to sort of bounce to the downside somewhere soon, and probably off this level of 11,434. So that's kind of the way I would play it. Is this is a shorting area, 11,434, but probably just a short scalp until these oscillators group to the downside and we start getting a bottoming pattern. Okay, so for now it is looking like a consolidation, but ideally I think I'd like to see us just close this, just come and test this breakout, these two tails here. So rally up, come back, test this area here, or even come and test this trend line and then make an attempt to break through. That's my view in an ideal world anyway. The ichimoku. So the 4 hour ichimoku, we've had a crossover here, which is bullish. Okay, Chiku span is in price. it would need to get through Kijinsen and Tekinson, and then it has quite a distance to go. So this is the brown line, so it needs to get through Tekinson and then Kijinsen, and then its next level of resistance is a cloud, which is a good 150 points away. 150 points from here will take us into the cloud, which is kind of correct, because that is the next level of resistance that I see. And have a look at how it lines up with these tails to the left. You see how the cloud and these tails to the left all line up? So that is the area where I would expect us to continue, well, actually to reverse and move to the downside. Okay? But that may just be profit taking and then build a base and then next leg higher. Okay, so for now, I think this is definitely looking like consolidation, and I'd like to play it with the trend and anticipate a potential move to the upside. Now, just bear in mind that this level I've just put in, look at how the 200 EMA also plays a role here, and you can see how we are getting overbought at the moment on the Williams percentage R. Now, Williams percentage R is, especially with the ichimoku, is something that I've been using for some time, and it is pretty reliable. Works very similar to the RSI, stochastics, etc. I just use it as on a period of 5. So it looks at the last 5 pairs to its calculations. And you can see whenever we peak above the negative 20 area, you can see how we are selling off. And this is on the hour. Okay, so I'm expecting some kind of a consolidation or a bit of a bounce to the downside. Now, last thing before we close off, there are 3 extremely bullish signals at the moment. So firstly, we had this twist in the cloud. So in other words, the cloud is green. Okay, we have broken through the cloud and price with Chiku span, and we're now busy with a crossover above the cloud. When we get a crossover above the cloud, that is extremely bullish. So the concept here is pretty simple. What you're looking for is a long entry, okay, and ideally you want it above a fractional break, and that's a fractional break there, or you wanted to pick it up off the bottom of the cloud, which is what we actually should have done. It's picked up along here off the bottom of the cloud, and we should still be sitting with a stop loss here. So I missed this. I was running around a bit. So my next step is going to be to wait for any form of pullback, and the form of pullback I'm looking for is something around 11,350, and your stop loss can basically be below the red line here, below Kijinsen, which is a 60 point. I think it's 60 point. Yeah, so it's about a 60 point stop loss, or you can do it below the cloud, but that's a 200 point stop loss. I'm not prepared to risk that much. Okay, so that's kind of my take for today. I am expecting us to meander to the upside. DAX futures at the moment is up 0.75%, so sitting at 11,383. Pretty much where we are at the moment. It hasn't changed from the close. So yeah, I'd expect us to maybe just a gentle meander down, come and close the actual gap, which is probably in this area here. So that's where the market closed, and then look for a long entry with my stop below Kijinsen, which is the red line. Okay, that's my take on this at the moment. And if we do get below the cloud again, then that's going to be opportunity to look for shorts. But looking at the hour, we have some pretty good opportunities, and just bear in mind that 11,488 is more than likely going to be the area where profit taking will happen. So that's where you need to take your profit. Wait for the bounce back, get back in long for a break of the cloud, take your profit, wait for it to come test the cloud, and then get in for your swing trade. Okay, so that's my take on it at the moment, and that's the way I'm playing it. So hope it helps, and I'll catch up with you guys later. Enjoy your day. Cheers.